if you don't wake up every day, not even acknowledging that you're winning in some point of this financial game, it's going to be a hard road to get to these breakthroughs.
There you go. Because, think about football. We both like football.
Right.
I'm a 49ers fan. You a Cowboys fan.
Yes, I am.
And we go back and forth, man. Y'all should see the text messages.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah.
So here we go. It's 1st and 10.
Right.
Not 1st and goal every play.
Right.
You just got to get 10 yards.
Right.
And then they celebrate, right? The players celebrate, go back to the huddle. All we want you to do, everyone, is to celebrate, go back to the huddle. Celebrate, go back to the huddle. You have the playbook right here.
Right.
You have the playbook, the game plan, and the coaches. You got all three. You need all three to win. Write that down. The playbook, the game plan, and the coaches.
Hello, everyone. Alvin Darian here. I spent over 2 decades in the financial industry helping people just like you. As the author of books like Don't Let Adversity Steal Your Legacy and the 8 Financial Breakthroughs, and as the CEO and co-founder of Financial Pro Network, I am proud to present to you the Leadership and Money Podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show. I'm Alvin Darian, your go-to financial educator. Today, we're going to talk about leadership and money. As you know, every week we break down a topic, dealing with leadership or dealing with money. Today, I have one of my very good friends and business partners, Mr. Dre Parker. Dre, how are you doing today, man?
Man, I am doing wonderful. I'm so excited to be here. We have a lot of conversations on leadership and money, and I'm glad that we're actually about to bring it to the public.
For sure. And I can tell you this, man, you helped help with the book too, man. You helped design the book. You help us put some of the material in the book, and we're going to discuss that today too. So that's going to be
Absolutely.
Good. And I know we've been in business now with over a decade now, right?
A decade, man.
So, man, let everybody know who you are and what you do and some things that you are excited about.
Okay. Well, for those who don't know me, my name is Dre Parker. I'm a money, legacy, and life coach. Now, the reason why I say that is because when you're dealing with people's money and you're dealing with leadership, you got to make sure that you put people into the right position, not just for their money, not just for their legacy, but for their complete life. So what I do for a lot of people is I help them design, grow, and protect their money and legacy while living an extraordinary life.
Got it. And what did you do before you were in the financial education space?
Well, it's funny you mentioned that. I was actually a personal trainer.
Okay.
Right? I have like 4 cornerstones, and that's how we actually met, through these 4 cornerstones: faith, family, fitness, and finance. But you added a 5th one, which I loved, which was fun.
Absolutely. Got to have fun in all areas, because if it's boring, then guess what? You're not going to enjoy it or have the passion behind it.
Right.
And man, it's been a great decade. And I know we put my 20 years experience, your 10 years experience, and we have some more people on the team. Combined experience, we have over 250 years of experience and wisdom that we put inside of a book to give people guidance, to help them make the right financial decisions. Tell us your excitement about the book that we just released.
Man, it's probably one of the best financial books out there. As a matter of fact, it became an Amazon bestseller. But, everybody remembers things through numbers, right? And 8 financial breakthroughs, like the significance of the number 8, completion. Right. So, and we came up with all this stuff as we were designing it.
Yeah, man. I remember we were sitting in my office at the circle table.
Yeah.
And we were there for like 3 hours, almost 4 hours, trying to figure out the order of the breakthroughs and trying to figure out which one should go first. And we was trying to figure out, hey, man, how can we help our community? How can we help people?
Right.
And then we finally released it. And now it helps people get prepared before they sit down with someone like ourselves or someone on our team.
Right. Absolutely.
So let's break down the 8 financial breakthroughs, man. I know everyone that has the book, they read the book, they're probably going through the breakthroughs and going through the homework. And let's take a deep dive on it and to share with everyone what made us come up with the 8 financial breakthroughs. We wanted a systematic way that people can really understand money and take action. There's so much information out there that it can confuse you, right? Do you want a minute of TikTok, or do you want 60 minutes with a financial professional? That's something to think about, right? So we're going to break down every last one of the 8 financial breakthroughs, and we're going to share with you how you can use this for you and your family or you and your business. So Dre, when we were writing this book, we were talking about how can we make it user friendly, right? How can we get the information out there that's going to lead to education, but has action steps for implementation. So what did you have in mind when we were putting this book together? What were you thinking? What was the outcome? What was the vision?
Oh, man. Well, the outcome for me was getting people out of theory, right?
Yes.
Out of confusion.
Got it.
And finally having a systematic way to break through their financial challenges.
Got it. Got it. So, man, let's take a deep dive in there. If you don't have the book yet, it is on Amazon, everyone. The 8 Financial Breakthroughs. And I tell you what, this is 20, 40 years of experience, 250 years of experience, all in one book. So Dre, when we wrote this book together, we wanted to make it, like you said, user-friendly, no charts, no graphs, words that people can understand. We wanted to make it a plane read, right? We wanted to make sure that if you take a 2-hour plane ride, you can finish the book.
Right.
And you can always go back and reference the book. And I know we're working on a workbook right now. And let's talk about, how do you use the book to help families, to help clients?
Man, I'm glad you mentioned that, because I break down each step, right? And we're going to go into step number 1 in a minute, but each step going through them to the final one. But I always let them know, like, hey, once we get through these 8 financial breakthroughs, there's levels to it, right?
There's levels. Absolutely. And think about it like this. You may be saving $50 a month, or they may be saving $1,000 a month, or anyone in between. We can work with them.
Right.
And they may have $100 in assets, or millions on top of millions, and everybody in between.
Right.
We can work with them as well. So when we sit with our clients, everybody, I want you to know this. You have to go through your financial journey. And we all have a different financial understanding.
Right.
You notice when we do our training, sometimes I'll say, hey, if I say the word money, right, what does the first thing come to mind? And if we had 100 people in the room, we would have 100 different answers, right?
Absolutely.
So, Dre, let's jump right into the 8 financial breakthroughs. And the first breakthrough is financial awareness, financial education. What is your take on financial education and financial awareness?
Man, listen, nothing happens until this breakthrough is resolved, right?
There you go.
Can't change anything that you're not aware of. So that's why this is the first breakthrough. Financial awareness.
And it starts with education, right?
Yeah.
Because there's enough information, like I said earlier, on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. But who says who's getting the right information, right?
Right.
Sometimes you can have the wrong information repeated over and over again. It becomes true.
Right.
And just because a person is loud doesn't mean that they're right.
Right.
And so when it comes to financial education, we want to help you discover your financial DNA.
Right.
Because we all learn money different. We learn money from our parents. We learn money from our grandparents. It's not our fault. It wasn't taught in school. How do you feel about that? Education, financial education not taught in school?
Oh, man, it's a big thing, because think about it. We learn from our environment, right? Yes. Our environment is our peers, our parents, our school system. That's where we get our belief system from. So that financial awareness for me, and we're going to talk about financial DNA next, that was very limited to me.
Yeah, because it comes down to those habits you pick up. There's certain sayings that we heard growing up. Money doesn't grow on
trees.
Stop air conditioning the whole neighborhood, right?
Right.
I'm sure you heard that. Right. And I don't have a money tree in the backyard. Or some people hear, I can't afford it.
Oh, man.
Right? Those little things build up. And over time, people really think they can't afford it. I have a friend makes over $250,000 a year. And they say things like, I can't afford it. And it'd be like $20, $30. Yeah. I'm like, okay, you got to change that mindset.
Yeah.
Right. And so also, Dre, when it comes to seminars and comes to workshops, how important is it to get in the room, to get the information and the education? How important is it to be in that workshop or to be in those seminars?
It's very important, because now you're around like-minded people, right, with different experiences. And I think that we actually grow more as a community when we share each other's experiences.
That's right.
We find out, like, oh, me too. I used to have that same thought. I used to do the same things when it comes to money. Yeah. So that's why it's important to be in the room in the seminars.
There you have it, everyone. Breakthrough number 1. Breakthrough number 1, we want to make sure you have financial awareness. Make sure you have a great coach, a great team that can help you expand that awareness and help you get more education. You got to have a breakdown before you have a breakthrough.
Yes.
And that's why we named them the 8 financial breakthroughs, because once you break through, right, you can move to the next one, which is breakthrough number 2, protection from threats.
Yes.
When you hear the word threat, what comes to mind?
Man, like I need to take, like, the old, like, I'm a hip hop head, so protect your neck, But now we're talking about protecting your finances, right?
Yeah, man. So what if every day your money had a threat? Like every day you logged into your account, it could be gone, it could be missing, if something can happen, somebody can take it. Those threats can destroy your legacy.
Right.
Just imagine being 60 years old, 70 years old, and then a threat comes up.
Right.
Now, there's 10 major threats we put in the book.
Right.
But today we'll talk about a few of them. Let's talk about the loss of income, man. Do most people have a income replacement plan?
Most people don't.
Yeah.
Most people really don't understand how that works. Like, I always tell people this, like, hey, if you can't get up and go to work, whether it's your business, whether it's your job, how is your family going to survive?
Yeah, man, that's something people don't really think about, right?
No, they don't.
And another threat would be critical and chronic illness, man, like the critical ICU, right? So if it's like a heart attack or a stroke or cancer, I'm a 2-time cancer survivor, and I understand how important critical illness is. And and on the other side, chronic illness, we both had back pain here and there. It didn't last 90 days to consider it chronic.
Right.
But, people have a knee ache, a knee pain, a hip pain, back pain, and if you can't work and provide income, that can cause a problem, right?
Yeah, think about it, man. Wow, you can't get up and go to work. Now, that's a serious threat. Like, how do you pay your mortgage?
How do you pay your mortgage? Man, I tell you, I'm so glad we put all this information in the book so people can enjoy it and read it and go through it at their pace. And there's one more part of the threat that most people overlook is identity theft.
Yeah.
Right. You build up all these assets, you build up all this money, this wealth, and then somebody take it away from you. How important is protecting against identity theft?
Oh, well, it's very important because, we don't want another Alvin Darien out there, right? No. We don't want another Dre Parker out there taking all of your hard-earned money. So a lot of people don't think about things like that, but it happens day in and day out.
Yes, it does. And so that's threat number 2, everyone. That is protection from threats. So the next one, man, is one of my favorite ones. Breakthrough number 3 is cash flow today.
Yeah. You know what? That's most people's favorite, right? Mm-hmm. Cash now. Remember that old, hey, cash now. You need cash now. Yeah. Everybody wants cash now. So let's dive into that.
So let's talk about cash flow and earned income, right? When you make money, you're earning your check, you're earning your income. Some people get paid once a month, like school teachers. Some people get paid twice a week, or, in our case, we get paid every day. Depends on how we help a family. Right. But I can tell you this, you need money right now to support your lifestyle. Mm-hmm. Because 50% of our income normally goes to lifestyle. Right. Based on the car you drive, the house you're living in, the places you eat. You notice when we go out to dinner and go out to eat, it's packed and people are ordering heavy meals, right? Right. And so that impacts your cash flow and making sure you have that budget. Right. I don't like to really say budget. Yeah. But we want to say cash flow today. I'd rather you make more money and then cut back. Yeah. Because if you can get an extra or additional $1,000 a month, right, more cash flow, now we cut back. But most people only think about cutting coupons and cutting back. And they don't think about increasing the cash flow. What is your take on that? Well,
I love the fact that you said you hate the word budget. I hate it, and what I decided to change it with was conscious cash flow management, right?
Oh, I like that.
And that's good because, and there's nothing wrong with budget, but it keeps you in a restrictive shrinkage mindset, and you can't shrink your way to wealth if that's your goal.
No, you can't cut coupons and say, I'm going to become wealthy and save 100 here and 200 here. But that leads me to the next topic of your automatic drafts, man. Have you looked at your automatic drafts lately?
Listen, I have. And it's so funny because we train our clients to do this kind of stuff. And when we do it for ourselves, we're like, wow. So there was 1 month, because I do this every 6 months, right? Yeah. So I was like, where's this extra $200 coming from? I'm like, okay, I don't need that. I'm not even using it.
So you had 2 gym memberships and probably a Finger Hut membership from back in the day. And think about it. I did it one time and I freed up about close to $700.
Wow.
And I did the calling and now they have apps that can eliminate all those automatic drafts because if we're not careful, it can be another car note.
Yeah, absolutely.
What about cash flow enhancement? Think about that. We need ways and ideas to help people enhance their cash flow. Absolutely. Because you know what you're getting if you work on 9 to 5. You're going to get paid, let's say, $2,000 every week, $2,000 every week, $2,000 every week. We have to say, okay, how can you make some additional income to support your lifestyle, but also enhance your lifestyle? Right. So a cash flow enhancement plan, I believe, is very, very important.
Absolutely. A lot of times when we're talking to people, like cash flow enhancement, and it's not a knock against somebody who works two jobs, because I used to do that before I knew better. But two jobs is for two people. You can't really enhance your life if you're working 70, 80 hours a week, right?
You're having a tired lifestyle, and maybe stress and loss of sleep, and and you're just grinding, and man, I tell you what, that's why you got to have cash flow ideas,
right?
Like you got to have a way to capture, and we talk about it in the book, where to put your cash flow ideas.
Right.
We all have ideas, but maybe you turn one that could make you some great money. Maybe there's an opportunity for you to make money. On the way coming here to the studio, I got 2 phone calls about an opportunity.
Wow.
People know that, hey, keep your ear listening and make sure you're in position to have the money to take advantage of the opportunity.
Absolutely.
So, man, we went over financial awareness, breakthrough number 1. Mm-hmm. We went over protection from threats, breakthrough number 2. We just talked about cash flow today. That's number 3.
Right.
So now we're going to jump into number 4, debt to income ratio. I'll let you start us off on that one.
Okay. So debt to income ratio, this is really big. We already know that consumer debt is destroying this country, right? Mm-hmm. So, and I always tell people this, we already got the tax man taking 1/3, right?
Yep.
We got the banks with debt taking 1/3. Mm-hmm. Okay, so with all of this lifestyle, people are looking to look like they got money, but their Mr. Interest is not on their side when it comes to debt, right?
You got it, because people are looking good to avoid from looking bad.
Yeah.
We buy things we really don't need to impress people who really don't care.
Absolutely.
Because now we're trying to look good on debt. We don't never say, hey, that debt look good on you. Man, you're driving a nice debt mobile. We don't say it like that.
Right.
But I can tell everybody this. We got to turn debt into a positive. Right. Because if we keep saying, become debt free, become debt free, become debt free, let's be honest, how many people really become debt free? But if we focus the conversation on debt to income ratio, that changes the narrative.
Right.
So now we talk about getting a home and getting a house and say, hey, you have great credit. Okay, great. Check that off the box. You have great income. Check that off the box. You have assets. But what stops people from getting that dream home? Debt to income ratio.
Right.
So now we're focusing on the income and the debt, not just the debt. Because, Dre, if you're going to put $500 a month into a debt plan, you got to put $500 a month into a savings plan. Because when you build that habit, right, over time, the debt is paid off. You already built a habit of an emergency fund.
Absolutely.
And it's very important for us to manage our liabilities and understand the difference between an asset and a liability. What do you feel is the difference between an asset and a liability?
I love Robert Kiyosaki's take on it. Mm-hmm. Asset puts money in your pocket. Liability takes money out your pocket.
Got it.
We keep it as simple as that, and people will understand that.
Yeah, and I know, man, once we understand the asset versus the liability, we want more assets.
Absolutely.
And see, our home is an asset, but the mortgage is a liability.
Right.
The mortgage is a liability. And now we hear people in our community and our culture always talking about credit score, right? We know it's important. But I got a question for you, Dre. Do you rather have $500,000 cash on this table or a 750 credit score? Think about it. Mm-hmm. $500,000 cash or a 750 credit score, and I'll tell you my answer. You go first.
Okay. Now, before we answer this, there's no right or wrong way.
There's no right or wrong way.
However, I'm going to take the $500,000 cash.
Man, I'm going to take the $500,000 cash too, man.
Because what if you got a 7 or 750 credit score, right? I want you to think about it. People get debt to bring in cash flow, right? They use debt to bring in cash flow. So if you give me the cash on hand, I could turn that into cash flow.
And then you can build credit up and make sure your debt to income ratio is good with a $500,000 cash flow.
Absolutely.
And I know lots of people, and we both have clients that have a 750 or above credit score. And guess what? They don't have assets. Right. They don't have any money.
Right.
Now, don't get me wrong, everyone. It's good to have both. But I want to make sure I tell you this here. You want to have the cash. And you always remember this: ace, king, queen. The ace is cash flow, the king is cash, and the queen is credit.
And if you don't do right, you're going to jack up your hand.
There you go, man. Because any card game, you should win with an ace, king, queen, right? I know we got some spade players on the team. I play spades with your mom and your and your cousins, man.
Absolutely.
We have a great time, right?
Absolutely.
So that leads us to number 5, everyone. Liquidity.
Yes.
Having accessibility to your money. And I know when we sit down with people, that's important, man.
Yeah.
And we got to have 3 to 6 months of money saved up for an emergency.
Right.
Because we don't get a warning, right? We don't get a, hey, Dre, you're going to have an emergency today.
Man.
Think about that. How do most people handle emergencies, Dre?
They panic and they use the debit card. I'm sorry, the credit card.
Oh, the credit card,
Yeah,
right?
the credit card,
Or call a relative, right?
Call a relative.
More money?
Can I borrow some money? Yeah.
No, we get those calls all the time. Hey, can I borrow some money calls, right?
Right.
So when it comes to liquidity too, you may have a business opportunity,
Right.
or a real estate deal, and you need capital. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to suggest 12 months,
Right.
of money set aside for opportunity.
Right. That's like an opportunity fund.
Yeah, it's separate than an emergency fund.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and then we want to help people acquire capital. And I know we have business partners and friends that help people with that.
Right.
And I know part of the overall plan, we will need to have access to capital. And give us some wisdom on that, Dre.
That's the other side of debt that we don't talk about, right? Because we've been so programmed to talk about consumer debt. But good debt is using the debt as leverage so you can enhance your lifestyle, not with the material things, but with more assets.
Yes.
It's assets, cash, assets. And you keep doing that. Cash, asset, cash.
I like that. I like
Cash,
that, man.
asset, cash, and we keep doing that. And ultimately, we really start to grow in the money game.
Got it. That's right, everyone. Pick up the book, everyone. The 8 Financial Breakthroughs is on Amazon. And you can go to our website as well. We'll make sure we have that in the caption. Let me share this with you. When you go through the breakthroughs, everyone, make sure you celebrate. How important is it to have small victories?
Listen, if you don't wake up every day, not even acknowledging that you're winning in some point of this financial game, it's going to be a hard road to get to these breakthroughs.
There you go. Because, think about football. We both like football.
Right.
I'm a 49ers fan. You a Cowboys
Yes,
fan.
I am.
And we go back and forth, man. Y'all should see the text messages.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah.
So here we go. It's 1st and 10.
Right.
Not 1st and goal every play.
Right.
You just got to get 10 yards.
Right.
And then they celebrate, right? The players celebrate, go back to the huddle. All we want you to do, everyone, is to celebrate, go back to the huddle. Celebrate, go back to the huddle. You have the playbook right here.
Right.
You have the playbook, the game plan, and the coaches. You got all 3. You need all 3 to win. Write that down. The playbook, the game plan, and the coaches.
Yeah.
Now, that leads me to number 6 breakthrough.
Mm-hmm.
Man, we're having fun on here. I can tell you these breakthroughs are really changing our clients' lives and really putting our families in different positions because of the information that's leading to education. But when it comes to number 6, future income and net worth.
Right.
Man, I know I said 3 is one of my favorites, but my favorite one is number 6.
Right.
Because I like to have net worth conversations.
Right.
When was the last time most people had a net worth conversation?
Most people don't even have that conversation, or especially future income, because a lot of people get stuck with those first 4 breakthroughs, and they never break through to the last 4 that we're going to discuss right now. That's very important.
Very important. And when it comes to your future lifestyle and your retirement plan, how important is that?
It's very important. So I want you to think about this. I always tell people, your current you will be responsible whether if you're going to be rich or poor in the future. So what you do today, cash flow today, can enhance your future income and your net worth.
So we got to put some aside for the future.
Absolutely.
And if we don't save money, money won't save us later, right?
Right. When can you stop working?
Got it. Because we get caught up in accumulation phase, right?
Right.
And it's good to have accumulation phase, but there's another part most people miss. What part is that, Dre?
Distribution.
Money coming back to you.
Right.
How many checks are you going to have in the mail?
Right.
How many sources of income? Because Social Security won't cut it. It may not be there for most.
It may not.
And that's why we call it unsecurity. Yeah.
Right.
But you think about it, accumulation, distribution, very important. But we got to put the light on distribution.
Right.
And how do you want that money paid out? Tax now, tax deferred, or tax free?
Right.
Very important, right?
And another thing, and we have to hit on this because we talked about accumulation, make sure you got the right accumulation vehicle. We talked about the distribution phase. But here's the thing. If you want more future income, your contributions has to increase.
There it is. And everyone, we want to help you have more volunteer contributions. We want to help you put your money in the right place. We want to make sure that you understand this is a journey. Because people are living longer, Dre.
Yeah.
We read and do research with Hallmark cards, right? And we're selling more happy 90th birthday cards than we ever sold. We're selling more happy 100th birthday cards we ever sold. That is a clear indication people are living longer. We want people to have money for the long term, not run out of money.
Right.
How important is it, those 30 years? Let's say you retire at 70, but you live to 100. Ooh. That's 30 years of income you're going to need.
Right.
Expand on that some more on how important that is.
Well, a lot of people, and this is why we have to meet with them, because they don't know their numbers, right? All right, just imagine 30 years. Like, what if you run out of money in 10 years, right? Yeah. That's why the contribution, this is so important, because so many people say, I'm just going to put $100 a month away, $100 a month away, and they expect to have millions and millions of dollars to live off later on. It doesn't work that way.
No. And then we always run into people who are not in reality with their money. They're out of reality, right?
Right.
They're 60 years old. They may have $100,000 and tell us, hey, I want to retire at 60. At 65. Like, you got 5 years, you never save money.
Right.
There's going to be so many people run out of money.
The wealth formula.
Yes.
Money plus time.
Yes, sir.
Plus or minus your rate of return.
There you go.
Minus inflation.
There you go.
Minus taxes.
They got to know the wealth formula.
They got to know it.
This is like grandma's sweet potato recipe, right?
Right.
So we got to make sure that sweet potato pie, everyone. That's not just sweet potato. Anybody can do that. Yeah. But everybody can't cook a sweet potato pie.
Right.
So Dre, building your net worth, right? It doesn't happen overnight.
No, it doesn't.
And I know we had a discussion the other day about what considers a person a millionaire. Do they have $1 million saved? Do they make $1 million? Right? Or do they have a net worth of $1 million?
Right.
So it's 3 different types of millions, right?
That's true.
But what considers a millionaire? Now, and I'll say it one more time. You have $1 million saved.
Yeah.
You make $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
And you have a net worth of $1 million. Expand on that some more for us.
So I'm glad you hit on this, because making $1 million a year does not make you a millionaire.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So what I mean by that is, like, what if you're spending over $1 million and you're making $1 million?
There you go.
That's the important part that people miss out.
It's good to have all 3, right?
Right. Yeah. Oh, of course. You want to go out. Yeah. Okay. We want to have all 3. And here's another thing. Like, even if you, and this is something that people got to understand, like, even if you have $1 million in appreciating assets, you can't chip off a brick and go live your lifestyle with it. You got to go through the proper channels. So liquidity is very important.
Got it. And I know building that net worth and having net worth conversations,
right,
sitting at the right table. Can you imagine you sit at the wrong table, you sit at the broke table versus the net worth table?
Man.
It's different conversations, right?
Absolutely.
You get on the bus, let's say we have a bus ride, and you're sitting next to a person that talks broke language,
right,
and I'm sitting next to a person talking net worth, and it's a 4-hour ride. Who's going to have a better bus ride?
Oh, my goodness. Listen, I've been at both tables.
Gotcha.
I grew up at the wrong table, and I said, you know what? I don't like this table.
Yeah.
I don't like what they're serving
here. The forks are dirty.
I got to get out of this table. I got to get away from this table.
Got it. So let's move to number 7. And everyone, number 7 and 8 is as needed, but it's more of a mature conversation as you get to saving money and building your net worth. So number 7 is legacy and succession plan, right?
Woo.
Most people don't want their family business anymore. They don't want the family farm or the family restaurant on the succession side.
Right.
But on the legacy side, I know we talk about this a lot. Share with everyone how you feel about legacy and building a succession plan for your clients.
I think in our community especially is very, very, very important. I want you to think, what if you had a grandmother or great-grandmother, great-grandfather who thought 100+ years, right?
Yeah.
You wouldn't have to worry about student loans. You wouldn't have to worry about borrowing money to start that business that you wanted.
That's right.
It's very important that, in order for us to be legacy creators, you have to be selfless.
Got it.
Right? You got to think of somebody other than yourself and future generations.
Yeah, because some people are 7 years behind being born. Right, because of the decisions their grandparents made, or their grandma made, or their granddad and their mother, and your mom and dad made. So we also got to make sure people have a will and a trust. How important is that?
That's very important, because a lot of people, just look at all the celebrities that passed away, and they're eating up all their money in probate court because they didn't have the proper instruments.
Yeah.
Right? If you got any assets, you should have a will and you should have a trust.
Yeah, and we have a team of experts that can help people with that. And I know we stay in our lane. We know how to quarterback that to the right person, but we have the same philosophy and we have the same desire to get you to the end result.
Absolutely.
And number 8, man, accountability.
Man.
Remember, we talked about this the other day. People will run from work and accountability.
They will.
You have to do the work and you have to be held accountable.
Right.
You notice the word count is in accountability.
Mm-hmm.
And you notice the word ability is inside accountability, the ability to count. So what are we counting?
Right.
We're counting the money, the income, the debt, everything based on the decisions you made.
Oh,
so
man.
how is it to have a responsibility and an accountability coach? I want you to really take some time on that.
All right, so think about it. The word ability, and I tell people all the time, as human beings, we're very capable, very able to do a lot of things. The problem with most people is it's not that they can't, it's just that they won't.
There you go.
Right?
There you go.
And that's why you have to be first accountable to yourself, and then within a group of people around you to hold you accountable to what you said you wanted.
Because there's a difference between a coach,
right,
and a difference between a consultant,
right,
and a difference between a subject matter expert.
Mm-hmm.
And I can tell you this, everyone, the 8 financial breakthroughs. We want you to have a breakthrough. We want you to take your income and take your business and take your family to the next level. Every chapter in here that we put in here we talk about the breakthroughs, but after every breakthrough, there's some homework. Make sure you do the homework. Now, Dre, I know as we close this out here, goals. That's the first thing we start with when we talk with a client,
right?
Or when we have our team share some information, goals. We talk about legacy, lifestyle, future income, and family. When you go through that process with people, give us an example of how you go through that process.
Okay, so after we go through the breakthroughs, right, we have to tie those breakthroughs to each one of those goals that you just mentioned, right? Legacy. We got to make sure that those 8 financial breakthroughs go to your legacy. Make sure that you have a good lifestyle. Because let's face it, if you're saving and you're doing all this stuff for a future lifestyle for your future generations,
mm-hmm.
you sacrifice lifestyle. People still want the lifestyle, Alvin.
And they want future income isn't very, very important.
Right.
How are you going to support the future lifestyle?
Right.
How are you going to support your family?
Right.
And when I say support your family, I'm talking about financially, emotionally, physically.
Right.
Because what if there's a long-term care need?
Yes.
What if you have to stop everything and take care of your mom?
Yeah.
And what about your legacy? I know you want to leave money to the next generation because after 3 generations, most of the time the money is gone.
It's gone, right? Because they don't set up the proper infrastructure, right? Mm-hmm. The problem they have is they're trying to get the wealth to the family, but they're never preparing the family for the wealth.
There you go. All right, man. I tell you what, this was a great, great show. And I know a lot of people want to benefit from this. And any closing words, and I'll go right behind you. Any closing words for our audience?
Closing words is get the book for one, but start with the first breakthrough. You can't change anything that you're not aware of. And believe me, your money and financial situations will never change until you take action and accountability for being aware of what you're not doing properly.
There you have it, everyone. Get with one of our financial professionals here at Financial Pro Network. And every week we're going to talk leadership and money. Today's topic was the 8 financial breakthroughs. You can get this book now on Amazon or click on the link below to the website. Make sure you go through it. Get 1 or 2 of them. We didn't put the price out there so high. We want to make sure everyone can have a chance to have financial education because you deserve it. All right, everyone. As I tell our team every week, look like your legacy, not your adversity.
Thank you for your time today. Have a productive day and not a busy day. To all the world champions and first-generation millionaires, I will see you at the top because the bottom is too crowded with excuses. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Take care and God bless everyone.